दोस्त आपका होस्ट जेमी ऑल्टर। आई एम बैक इन इंडिया ब्लूज। क्योंकि दोस्तों वाइब्स जो है ना, बहुत अच्छे वाइब्स आ रहे हैं। कल से शुरू होने वाले दूसरा टेस्ट मैच बिटवीन इंडिया एंड ऑस्ट्रेलिया एट द फिरोज शाह कोटला, नाउअडेज नोन एज द अरुण जेटली स्टेडियम। शो करने से पहले मैं आप सभी का स्वागत करता हूं। आई होप यू आर ऑल डूइंग वेल। अगर आप इस शो को देख रहे हैं तो बताइए कमेंट करके कि आपको क्या लगता है, कोटला टेस्ट कितना दिन तक जाएगा? हाउ मेनी डेज विल दिस मैच गेट ओवर इन? आई हैव गॉन ऑन record on my other shows by saying कि मुझे लगता है कि शायद चौथे दिन पे लंच से पहले ये मामला निपट जाएगा, यानी कि भारतीय टीम ऑस्ट्रेलिया को 3.5 दिन के अंदर निपटा लेगी। ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द वे दैट ऑस्ट्रेलिया लॉस्ट 10 विकेट्स इन अ सेशन नागपुर के पहले टेस्ट के बीच आखिरी दिन पर जाने के तीसरे दिन पर, एंड ऑल्सो जस्ट द वे कि हमारे प्लेयर्स खेल रहे हैं, हमारे स्पिनर्स, इन 3 स्पिनर्स को फेस करना दूर दोस्तों बहुत बहुत मुश्किल है इन लोग के लिए। तो क्या ऑस्ट्रेलियन टीम रिपीट कर पाएगी? यस वी होप, बिकॉज दे आर आफ्टर ऑल द नंबर 1 रैंक टीम। बट देखते हैं दोस्तों क्या होने वाला है कल के मैच के बारे में बात करेंगे। जुड़ेंगे मेरे दोस्त, मेरे पुराने कॉलीग आदित्य भट्टाचार्य। ही इज द डिजिटल स्पोर्ट्स एडिटर ऑफ हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स। पहले भी आ चुके हैं मेरे शो पे। आप लोग जो जुड़े हैं मेरे शो से आप उनसे वाकिफ होंगे। He's covered a lot of cricket. मैं बहुत बहुत साल से आदि को जानता हूँ, एंड lovely to see how far he's come in his cricketing career. और पिछली बार दोस्तों जब हम दोनों साथ काम कर रहे थे 2019 में, जब हम दोनों जी मीडिया के लिए काम करते थे, तो आदि और मैं we got to England to cover the 2019 World Cup. तो जब भी मैं आदि के बारे में सोचता हूँ, खासकर जब वो इस शो पे आते हैं, तो I remember the fun we had covering the 2019 World Cup, as I'm sure Adi does as well. इसी बात पर लेट मी गेट माई गुड फ्रेंड आदि ऑन द शो, फिर हम गपशप गुफ्तगू को आगे ले जाएंगे। करिए स्वागत जोरदार तालियों से, खैर हाइपोथेटिकल तालियों से, बजट नहीं ना हमारे पास तालियों के लिए। बट आदि, वेलकम टू द शो, गुड टू सी यू। अरे आज तो भाई कैप पहन के आए।
Bad hair day, Jamie. How are you?
कैन यू हियर मी? आई कैन हियर यू।
Yeah, am I audible? Abhi?
शायद म्यूट पे हो, शायद चेक करो।
Hang on.
यू कैन हियर मी?
Yeah, I can. Any better?
एक सेकंड मैं कुछ करता हूँ। मिशन मेरे एंड से प्रॉब्लम है, कहीं जाइएगा मत। अब कुछ बोलो भाई।
Any better?
Yeah, sorry, not my end. I put the wrong jack in. होता है यार।
Jamie, how are you, man?
Good यार, good to see you. Long time बात नहीं हो पाई. We gotta catch up soon. But I figured यार, if we cannot meet in person, let's at least talk about cricket. Because Adi, what a series we've had. I mean, I'm saying series. 3 दिन भी नहीं हुए अब तक सीरीज में, लेकिन भाई मुझे तो बहुत मजा आता है ऐसे मैचेस में. You know where I'm coming from.
In fact, Jamie, I mean, I knew this is going to happen. This is nothing new. You knew that Australia, they will find playing India in India difficult. But, at the back of my head, there was a part of me which expected, a far better contest. And in fact, I was legit worried that this might be the year that Australia might pull off something special. Although it's a far-fetched imagination. But I don't know, somewhere at the back of my head, I was expecting a lot better from them. I was actually excited, for a test series happening in India. Because last time जब हुआ था पुणे में, तो कुछ तो it was still unexpected, right? India losing.
Yeah, बिल्कुल.
The whatever happened from there is a different thing altogether. Obviously, the comeback and all that. But you would expect I mean, especially after what happened in 2017, I was expecting the first test to be something different. But same old, pretty much on expected lines.
No, man, I'm on the same page as you. हालांकि the two of us are on several groups together. और हमारे जो क्रिकेट टीम के ग्रुप है वहां पे तो मैंने कहा भी था कि यार don't underestimate this team. I think they're gonna put up a fight. But जब टॉस के समय पे पैट कमिंस एक तो बहुत बड़ा टॉस जीता, वो अलग बात है कि टॉस घंटा फर्क पड़ा इन द एंड. बट व्हेन दे वन दैट टॉस आई एम लाइक ओके गुड. इन्होंने ये टीम चुना, 4 बॉलर, राइट? No, it was just like, so I get it, and the way they crumble, then उसके बाद I was like, actually अगर देखा जाए, थोड़ा झांक के, तो they have these great names, but they've actually not achieved as much success as the common fan would assume they have. David Warner, वो कब तक कभी नहीं चले इंडिया के अंदर. लाबुशेन कभी इंडिया आए नहीं टेस्ट मैच खेलने. उस्मान ख्वाजा had never played a matches. Matt Renshaw, Peter Hanscom playing after some 5.5 years. So in a sense, maybe we all kind of overestimated them, but three days I don't know, man. I was very surprised.
Jamie, I think the only chance Australia had in this match was batting in the first innings. They won the toss. That was the best time to bat. And and I was also surprised when India batted because I did not expect the pitch to get better. But it did. And like I said, that was their only chance. And 177 and uske baad se it was all very downhill, yaar. In fact, agar aap dekhoge, Jamie, India have always had this problem against Spain, and this is not like a new crack in their gameplay. This has been happening for years, right? 2014 to 2018 to one. Every time spinners come and they've been always very successful in troubling India. वो अब you don't have that Tendulkar Ganguly Lakshman wala zamana that will ace spin. This has been happening for a long time. So again, like I mentioned, I'll go back to my to what I said a little earlier. I expected a lot better from Australia, and I mean, to be very honest, they had a chance because Todd Murphy, like it always happens. A new spinner comes to India and they always trouble this batting team, and this has always been happening. So I was like, because in during the New Zealand tour, Ajaz Patel came in, took 10 wickets, and then so it was unexpected, nice.
Yeah.
But वो होना था यार. You should have expected, and like you said, Jamie, 91 all out. Yeah, you don't expect this from any Australia. Forget the Australia of obviously this team is nowhere close to the mighty Australians that we've all seen up growing. But 91 all out, all 10 wickets in one session, not what you expect. Yeah, not what you expect.
बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हो, नॉट व्हाट यू एक्सपेक्ट. और उसके बाद व्हाट इज द साइकोलॉजिकल डैमेज दैट हैज बीन इन्फ्लिक्टेड फ्रॉम दैट, वो देखना बाकी है. बहुत बात करेंगे, बट लेट्स टेक सम कमेंट्स. मोनिका सिंह, हाउ आर यू? वी आर वेरी फाइन. यार देयर वाज अ कमेंट फ्रॉम आशु पांडे के भाई भाई बिल्कुल रैपर लग रहे हैं. हाँ बिल्कुल रैपर लग रहे हैं ये हालांकि आपको बता दूं कि रैप दूर, ये जो 90s के गाने गाते हैं ना भाई, यू हैव टू एक्सपीरियंस इट. बट आई सॉ दैट कमेंट फ्रॉम आशु पांडे. वो कह रहे हैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने पहले कुछ विकेट जल्दी खो दिए थे. भाई कुछ विकेट्स आशु पांडे, कौन से कुछ विकेट्स? आप 10 विकेट गवा दिए. इफ यू गो बैक टू द फर्स्ट डे आशु पांडे, दे वर 2 for 2. उसके बाद एक डेढ़ घंटे के लिए, आदि यू नो दिस, Smith and Labuschagne actually had India looking somewhat worried, nahi?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
again, but you said it, 177. फिर वो पिच की टॉक सब एक तरफ भाई, the other team bats 140 overs, gets 400, and look at Adi, look at the way the two captains and the management, they chose their teams, right? India, no brainer, pick 3 spinners. मेरा ये मानना है कि they would have resisted the temptation to play Kuldeep Yadav because of what Akshar Patel offers with the bat. और देखो उसी बैटिंग स्किल ने नंबर 9 पे आके the guy gets 84 not out. In these conditions you have to aim to bat once, bat big. India checked all those boxes. Rohit, I mean, कहाँ पिच की बात? उस पिच पे बंदे ने 120 बनाए. But I go back to my point about
Still 84 बना दिए यार against a guy who picked up 8 wickets.
look at the 11 they picked. They dropped Travis Head for 2 players जो 2017 से टेस्ट मैच ही नहीं खेले थे, and then you only pick 4 spinners. तो कहीं ना कहीं, yes, number 1 ranked, yes, the test season 1, the test season 2, भाई आपकी thinking. मेरा ये मानना है, I want your take very quickly before we move on. I think they lost that match even before a ball was bowled.
Yeah, pretty much, Jamie. और ये Jadeja also mentioned, right? Even before coming, all the hoopla surrounding the pitch. Every time a Test series is being played in India, you know what the kind of the kind of pitch that are going to be on which the matches are going to be played on, right? This is not the first time this has been happening. It's been going on for years and years and years now. So I honestly felt that all of this pitch talk was absolutely unneeded. Yeah. Matlab, it's nothing new, right? You're not coming to India and you're seeing that pitches are turning. And of course, if you're a visiting team coming to India for the first time, you know what happened to England. You know what happened to New Zealand. Every team has crumbled here, right? And it's not like it's happened just for the first time. Even in 2012, when England won that series in India, there you had turners. It's just that was a one-off series, and just don't fall under the impression that we had better wickets back then as compared to the wickets that we play cricket now on. It's pretty similar, and also Jamie, this whole this Australia coming to India, a lot of things are at stake, right? For the last 3 test seasons, the Border Gavaskar Trophy is with India. You needed a good start, yeah. You needed a good start. Plus, like you mentioned, David Warner, respect to what the guy has done, but I think it's time to move on, yeah. He's already given indication that this might be the end of his test career. And there's also an inkling that when you send out such a signal, deep down you know that you don't have much. So maybe somewhere down the line it kind of impacts your performance. Maybe you're no longer driven as much as you used to when you know that the end is just around the corner. Another reason is you're playing 11, char bowlers, two spinners, not enough. Yeah, I hope Australia change their combination going into Kotla, because Kotla is going to be even worse, I think, for them to deal with. I was going through an article that said some 66 wickets have been picked up by spinners at Kotla. So I don't know how much of a difference Travis Head is going to make, even if he makes the 11, because as far as I know, he's not the greatest players against spinners. उसका भी थोड़ा होता है experience.
बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हो. द गाय वाज ड्रॉप बिकॉज एशिया के अंदर इसकी बैटिंग एवरेज 21 की है, राइट? सो आई गेट द थिंकिंग, बट मैं कह रहा हूं एटलीस्ट बंदा 1.5 साल से 11 में तो है ना. You have
Yeah.
dropped him for guys who've not batted in these conditions. Last year, Travis Head played 3 tests in Pakistan, 2 in Sri Lanka. चलिए, कुछ किया तो नहीं, but at least उसको थोड़ा idea था कि how to play, right? And in that Galle test, he took 4 for 10. So on that basis, I would have played him, but that's why I'm sitting here talking to you and not picking the Australian teams. But हम आते हैं pitch पर, ठीक है? I was speaking to our good friend Vineet, and because he's been at the Kotla, I think he's been there all week. I think he probably stays there nowadays. वो भी कह रहा है कि यार देखो वो pitch is looking very brown and very dry, so I'm getting straight to it. Adi, when do you see this match getting over?
See, if India bat first, then maybe it will head into the fourth day, maybe 2 sessions into the fourth day,
I
because
like what you said. Maybe.
only if India bats first. If Australia bat first, again, I think it's pretty much a repeat, yeah. Because देखो होता क्या ना, if India bat first, they are definitely going to bat a second time as well. They don't enforce follow-ons anymore.
Correct.
And you understand, ठीक है, players spend time in the field, bowlers are bowling a lot of overs, you tend to get tired. So only based on the assumption that India will bat a second time, maybe the match goes into the fourth day. No, that is my take. Yeah, it's sad. I expect 5 days because at the end of the day, more cricket, more action, more traffic.
I get exactly where you're coming from. मेरा उल्टा है भाई, जल्दी खत्म, एक दिन काम कम पड़ जाएगा. But you obviously cannot think along those lines. इसी बात को मैं अपने व्यूअर्स के लिए डालता हूं. This is our first poll. दोस्तों ये आप लोग के लिए, केवल आप लोग के लिए जो इस शो पे जुड़े. On which day will this match get over? You have 30 seconds. Very very simple. आपको अपने प्यारे प्यारे फोन्स पर या तो 3 टिक करना है या 4. मैंने तो डे 5 दिया. Just look at my optimism, आदि. मैंने व्यूअर्स को चांस, मैंने ऑप्शन नहीं दिया 5 का. मैंने बोला 3 या 4. वो बोल रहे
तो नहीं होने वाला है. 5 का तो चांस ही है. 5 तो कोई टेस्ट मैच भी नहीं जाएगा. अभी तो अहमदाबाद भी है. अहमदाबाद में तो गॉड नोस व्हाट्स गोना हैपन. 2 days, 3 days.
The first thing जब ये schedule आया था, I saw Ahmedabad, I checked to see whether it's day night. If it was a day night match, हालांकि है नहीं, मैं तो बोलता हूँ 2 दिन में काम खत्म हो जाएगा. चलो very quickly, time's up. पोल बाबा हमें बताइए रिजल्ट्स क्या है. पोल बाबा बोल रहे हैं भाई साहब आदि 70, I know you can see this, 75% of our viewers are saying ये तीसरे दिन में खत्म है और केवल 25 कह रहे हैं 4 पे. Anyways, that's the viewers thing. Now
that makes it a 9-day gap between the second and third test.
बताइए यार ये क्या. I think in those 9 days they can go and shoot. They're all in the hotel rooms. They can shoot the test season 3 in the 9 days only. There are some viewers. अभिनव तोमर कह रहे हैं we agree with you. वीरू शिंदे कह रहे हैं 5 का कोई चांस नहीं है. भाई ये होती है कॉन्फिडेंस. बिल्कुल. जोया खान कह रहे हैं I think जोया 4 तक जाएगा ये. चलिए बातें हो गई पिच को लेके. Now it looks drier and slower than what we saw in Nagpur, which I mean you look at it, Australia should Adi play 3 spinners. वो देखने को बाकी है. But what about India? Do you see? We'll come to the most obvious change. लेकिन वो batting change है. रही बात bowling की, do you see India changing or यार नहीं अपना यही है? Because if it's going to be slower and lower, खास करके Mohammad Siraj was not even required to bowl more than 2 overs. In that situation, and I get the point that toss पे बहुत निर्भर है. Do you think there's a chance they might just drop a fast bowler and play Kuldeep, or would that be too risky?
So that makes it just one fast bowler in Shami, right?
मैं कह रहा हूँ, मैं इस लिहाज से पूछ रहा हूँ कि अगर टेम्पलेट नागपुर वाली टेम्पलेट दिखने को मिले जहां पे स्पिन डोमिनेट्स एंड यू डोंट रियली नीड दैट सेकंड पेसर. रिस्की है, but on this kind of track, I think this guy can take a lot of wickets.
Yeah, Kuldeep will be a different type of bowler for India to operate, right? Thoda different hoga. Like you'll have 3 left-arm spinners, 2 pretty much similar. Then you have Kuldeep, who adds a different variation altogether. Ash is your conventional offie Jadeja, Akshar are pretty much similar. Although दोनों में से I think Akshar is a little more threatening. Although I know Jadeja picked up 5-4, but that height and that skid and all that, Akshar थोड़ा difficult हो जाता है. In fact, in the first test match itself, when I was asked who would I would probably go with between Kuldeep and Akshar, my first go-to option was Akshar Patel.
सही, बिल्कुल.
But four, I mean, कर तो सकते हैं. Obviously, it's a very tempting option. 3 दिन में खत्म करना है, then pick up 4. I don't know, but maybe three spinners I think is going to be more than enough, Jamie. I mean, if you ask my opinion honestly, in case there comes a spell you need somebody to bowl. What if there's some injury? What if Shami gets injured? Probably you'll need a little bit of backup for that. So
No, it's
I still think three spinners is enough. Kuldeep, of course, he'll add a different variation to India's spin bowling altogether. But I would still say three spinners and probably 2 pacers.
spinners. Makes sense. That's a logical choice. इसी बात को मैं अपने viewers के लिए एक poll के द्वारा लगाता हूँ. दोस्तों, should India play Kuldeep Yadav? I'm not giving you options. I'm saying yes, but does that mean does Akshar Patel drop out because he only got 1 wicket, or should a pace bowler drop out? वो दूर की बात है. आप लोग जो show पे जुड़े हैं, आप लोग बताइए. You have 25 seconds left on the lock screen, because yes, it's rare that you play 4 fast bowlers, but I'm thinking if they expect the track to play slower and lower, because it looks bloody drier than the Nagpur track.
Yeah.
उस तरह से देखें, and again it's a risk, but it's a calculated gamble based on the fact that ये हमारे fast bowlers शायद खेलेंगे. Plus, the second the pitch starts to थोड़ी हरकतें करती है ना, one fast bowler is going to have to take a back seat. Because रोहित सर यार कोई बोल रहा है मैं 250 पे हूं, मैं 4.5 पे हूं, मैं 48 पे हूं. So keeping all that in mind, quickly poll the results. Again, no one is quite sure. We have a 50-50 split vote here, the viewers. Let's now move on, Adi, to the most obvious swap. That is the guy who's been past fit. Shreyas Iyer. केवल 7 मैच खेल चुके हैं दोस्तों, of which only one was outside the subcontinent. यानी कि अगर उस एक इंग्लैंड टेस्ट को हम दूर रखें, where he had short ball problems, the guy has played 6 test matches. He's got 105 50s. I think, Adi, and please feel free to join me or disagree, I think he walks straight back in and rightfully takes that number 5 spot.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I think the reason they picked Surya in the squad itself was also to have a backup for Iyer, because I think Shreyas Iyer was slightly doubtful even before the start of the test series. So, I mean, no head scratcher there. Yeah. The guy walks back in. Look at that average, 56. I get it that he hasn't played too many matches, but there's so many innings that comes to mind. And Jamie, you spoke of 2019 World Cup. I have always believed that Shreyas Iyer was your number 4 batsman for the World Cup as well. उस टाइम पे थोड़ा आया भी था. He scored runs in Vijay Hazare as well, and he's an all-round batsman, man. Remember when we were with a website that was about to go launch? There was so many veterans journalists. They were so high on praise for Shreyas. Although I didn't see it there, and I remember you interviewed him as well. And the moment you interviewed him, you came up and said, "This guy, iska hai." वो कहते हैं ना, good head on his shoulders. He's pretty much been there. I think Jamie Iyer, he finds himself in the same shoes as Rahane did in 2013. Because India had Sachin Tendulkar batting. Rahane's that coming to the 4 wala scene took a backseat for a few years. But once it was time for Tendulkar to go, Rahane came in, and the position was all his. Same is what I see and what I expect out of Shreyas Iyer as well. See, in all fairness, Ajinkya Rahane's test career with the Indian team is all but over, is what I feel. And Shreyas Iyer is your future, man. You have to invest in him. You have to give him time. Get him in. Surya Kumar Yadav, through no fault of his own, the guy is doing great in T20Is. Usko ODIs khilao, T20Is khilao. Don't rush him in test. I don't think you need a player like Surya Kumar Yadav in test. The reason I think there's also this tempting option of playing Surya Kumar Yadav, because in the absence of Rishabh Pant, maybe he can play that role that Pant did. Just not allowing bowlers to settle in. But I don't think it's a long-term solution, yaar. And test matches ab kitne hi khel rahe hain is saal. So Iyer walks back in, yeah. You need somebody to in that top 5 and top 6 to play well against Spain. Iyer, fabulous batsman, Andy.
He walks back in. We'll take this conversation further. good thoughts from Adi. I'm going to put another poll up for our viewers. दोस्तों आपको क्या लगता है who should make way for Shreyas Iyer? Adi and I feel that it's a no-brainer. Suryakumar Yadav, who had a fairly poor debut, I think the shot that he got out to is going to leave him with a few problems. But in my view, it's him. Or is it someone like KL Rahul? Now, traditionally, Indian teams do not drop their vice captain, but the guy is resembling a walking wicket. आपको क्या लगता है दोस्तों? ये केवल आप लोग के लिए है. Quickly, let me know. Is it Sky or Rahul? And just one more thing, Adi, like you rightly said, the kind of innings, the kind of impact that Shreyas Iyer has been having in, and look at these, they've always been in the subcontinent, जहाँ पे spinners dominate करते हैं. It was about a year ago. India had lost 4 wickets on day one of a test against Sri Lanka, and he counter-attacked, and his counter-attack then allowed Rishabh Pant to counter-attack. We saw it in December, Bangladesh mein recently. Team ki halat kharab thi, he played, and it's that ability to dominate spin when the chips are down, which is why I feel he should come right back in. We've got another split vote. People are not sure whether it should be Sky or Rahul. Rahul cops a lot of flack. I understand log क्यों कह रहे हैं वो. Let's quickly move on to the next player. भाई ये इनके लिए बहुत बहुत बड़ा टेस्ट मैच है ये. चेतेश्वर पुजारा आदि. We've seen a lot of this guy. 100 test matches, fully deserved. बस मुझे लग रहा है कहीं ना कहीं से कि it's like a second lease on life, because this time last year he was not part of the squad. तो कहीं ना कहीं from perhaps being stuck on 94 test matches, he realized कि इनको कितना बड़ा chance मिला है, and I hope he makes it count, because like Rahane, he was also living on borrowed time as well.
County season, Jamie. I think county season got him back, but he still needs that big knock here, Jamie. I mean, I guess that he is a rare oddity and brings something very different. You want to grind it out. Pujara is your man. He's been doing that for years. He can still do it. But is Indian cricket in that stage anymore that they can afford to go back to a guy who always has done well? He'll be a good fit. But is he your guy who will change the scenario? Will he do that? I'm very doubtful. And also, Jamie, lack of big scores is a big problem.
Absolutely.
आप 100 बॉल खेल के 20 बनाओ 30 बनाओ, not a problem, but
Convert.
but is it beneficial for the team? That's not happening anymore, right? And if there is any team Pujara should score well against, is Australia, right? Those 3 centuries in the 2018-19 series. I mean, especially he's playing at home, spinners, he plays Nathan Lyons so well, but it's time for him to get some scores going here. Get at least 1 century. He hasn't scored 100 in a long time. I know he got a good score against Bangladesh. He got a 90 odd. Very good inning, very fine innings. But you need to look beyond here now. I mean, they're all in their last stages, right? Everybody's not as gifted as great a batsman as Virat Kohli, who'll probably just break barriers and go about his business. With Pujara, there is a bit of a lingering concern. I hope he puts them to rest in this. This test series is pretty much playing all 4 games until something big happens. So I think this is again a make or break series for him. 100 test matches, again, huge respect, big servant. He's done things nobody expected him to, especially when he came on board. You also should know that apart from this ability to grind out balls, he can play aggressive role as well. He's done that. He's surprised the onlookers many times. But you need a big score at the end of the day. No, reputation alone won't get you too far.
Yep. No, and I just feel that he was dropped. It was perhaps an overdue call, because, like you rightly said, that lack of big scores from someone who's been known to put up big scores, and him and Rahane just not being consistent enough led to their axing. लेकिन हुआ क्या कि जब वो 5th test of the England series was rescheduled, and he happened to already have been in the UK scoring double hundreds, daddy hundreds, it was a natural recall, right? कहीं ना कहीं शायद they had the option कि यार Pujara, thank you, that could be it, but probably this fascination with the 100 test match and knowing कि यार थोड़ा समय बाद let's play Pujara to get him to 100. It's a great milestone. He deserves it. Also, there's the WTC cycle. मेरा ये मानना है कि once this cycle is done, irrespective of हमारी टीम कहाँ खत्म करती है, whether they lose or not the final, I think this probably is that last phase in Pujara, because, like you rightly said, he's not going to lead this team into the future, right? He only plays one format, but the big scores have dried up. So I just think we're looking at Pujara in this last, say, 3-4 months, and we should just enjoy it. Whether the
I'm
big
also
scores,
surprised if he makes it to the World Test Championship final, Jamie. If he doesn't get
If he doesn't score
If it
here,
comes
yeah.
with this series, I think they'll be very tempted to play Shubman Gill. They'll probably slot him somewhere in the middle order. Probably KL Rahul has been getting the long rope. He'll probably continue to get that advantage for a few more months, I think. But yeah, if this series is a letdown, the playing the WTC final is also risky. I don't see that happening, to be honest.
Yeah. A lot of people on this show I've noticed and on my YouTube channel, they have strong opinions on Shubman Gill and KL Rahul and how Shubman Gill should not be kept out for KL Rahul. Now, whatever it is, I don't think maybe the best Dimag in this country can figure out what KL Rahul is still doing in the team. That's just my view. But Shubman Gill, right? We have to talk about it because last year he scored about 750 odd one-day runs at a fantastic average strike rate. He converts that into a maiden test 100 because I think form is linked across formats. Lekin is saal he's the leading run getter in one days this year. 6 matches we've seen 200s and a double. Then he gets that T20 100 in India's last match. I get why he was not picked for Nagpur, but I don't agree with the call. How do you see this guy? Is it just a matter he has to यार तो तुम अभी बच्चे हो 23 साल के wait your time or is it time to you know what Rahul हो जा साइड भाई खिलाओ इसको
But time for what, yeah? If you're 23, if you don't get him in the
peak form Adi peak form.
हाँ but I think Jamie, this is the time to bring a player, bring a youngster in, right? अगर आप देख रहे हो future को, then he's 23 यार, he can be your go-to guy in this next era that takes over in the next 3-4 years.
Correct.
And there's this belief that a player who's doing well in ODIs and T20s might not be a great fit. Jamie, I feel if you're doing good in two formats, there's hardly a possibility you're not going to do well in the third. And it's not that he hasn't played test matches before. He's played test matches before. He scored 91 against Australia. So he's full of promise. I mean, like for like replacement would be Shubman Gill for KL Rahul, but through some magic that hasn't been happening. Our guy's been getting a long run for way too much long. And Jimmy, more than that, KL Rahul looks very, I won't say low on confidence, but he doesn't cut that authoritative figure anymore. Yeah? You know that he might get it. And it wasn't long. The KL Rahul who scored 100 at the Oval, or was it at Lords? It was at Lords, right? The KL Rahul who scored 100 at Lords and the KL Rahul who's batting now. There is a huge difference between these two players.
Exactly. You're talking about 2021, right? उसके बाद 22 पे आते हैं 22 के इनके stats देखो यार only 4 test matches, very small sample size, but look at the returns, an average of 17, right? So he didn't do it. He did not score. Again, the KL Rahul problem is it seemed like on that same track when I think Rohit Sharma got his 50 in 61, 62 balls. This
Yeah.
guy at the same time was 18 of 66, right? So how do you defend that kind of overly defensive attitude? And it's so frustrating because we know what KL Rahul can do, right? He gets set in और इतने loose तरीके से debutant Todd Murphy पे out हुए. I just end up wondering how long is this perhaps the last series for him?
I mean, if you want to stick to a player, you stick to a player in certain formats, right? And test matches, I don't think Jamie test matches have never been KL Rahul's thing. Is what I think that whatever there was a time when KL Rahul was actually a most destructive batsman of the Indian team.
Yep.
As an opener, those hundreds against West Indies, against England, there was a whole new level to his game back in the day. But I'm talking about what 5-6 years ago. And it's been long that KL Rahul hasn't, except that England tour, that consistency is missing big time. So, and I think it started from the 2019 World Cup itself. He was made to open when Shikhar Dhawan was sidelined due to a fractured finger, I think. And ever since, hasn't really gotten going here. I mean, and just think about what all has happened since the pandemic. So many good seasons of the IPL, so many chances with the Indian team, opener, middle order, hasn't been able to cement his position anywhere. And that is my concern, right? Had this been any other player, he wouldn't have gotten. And this is what is slightly frustrating to see. And now, when you have a guy who is in the form of his life, who's young, who has this at least 10, 11 years in front of him, give him more games. Right? Give him more games. Shape him for the future. You never know, he could be your next captain.
He could be, and even many people have said, me included, his role actually could be batting at four once Virat Kohli steps aside, right?
Why
Whoever
not?
it is,
Why not?
this guy is shown he's not an opener by trade. मैं शुभन गिल की बात कर रहा हूँ. That because under 19 World Cup पे opening कराया गया था. But his actual role is in the middle order. But he's shown the skill to adapt in that opening role. So again, I just do not agree at all with the decision to bench Shubman Gill because he got 100 in his last Test series in December. चलिए थोड़ा मेहमान नवाजी करते हैं. Let's talk a little bit about the Australians here. A lot of focus, a lot of stuff is on the fitness about these two guys on our screens. यानी कि मिचेल स्टार्क एंड कैमरन ग्रीन. कल विनीत बता रहे थे कि इन दोनों ने 2-2.5 घंटे के लिए बॉलिंग करी. कैमरन ग्रीन ने थोड़ी बैटिंग करी. कैमरन ग्रीन did look in a bit of discomfort. It's obviously Adi, it's a race against time if these two pass fit. But I want to say a slightly left field thing here. Please, I want to get your view. अगर दोनों यानी कि स्टार्क और कैम अगर ये फिट भी होते हैं, do they necessarily do they need them both? Because वही बात है ना, don't you want to pack your team with spinners? And just like Akshar Patel bats at number 9, you have Ashton Agar can also bat in that Akshar Patel mold, right? So my question to you is, just because they're fit, does it mean both of these guys walk back into the 11?
Green is a very bold call. Yeah, Cameron Green. Where does he fit in? Who do you take out? You take out Matt Renshaw. If you take out Matt Renshaw, you probably bring in Travis Head, right? You
बिल्कुल.
don't find a place for Cameron Green. Mitchell Starr, I might be little little tilted towards Mitchell Starr again because that left arm pacer sort of a thing might give you that reverse. That obviously there's a threat with the new ball, and then obviously once the ball starts reversing, then again. And when I think about him threatening, the first side that comes to my mind is Mitchell Stark bowling to KL Rahul. Those Yorkers, in swinging Yorkers. Wo,
It's possible again.
so, I mean, yeah, could be a chance, but if Vinny pointed out he's bowled for 2 hours, then it could indicate two things. Maybe they will give him a chance, or maybe they're just giving him a lot more time to get fit in time for the remaining tests. Ashton Agar is also your left arm spinner, right? Left arm spinners have had success against Virat Kohli in particular.
And a lot of right-handers in India's top 7 also. So
Correct. So you ideally should go play with the spinners. I hope the discussion that you and I just had a few minutes ago about playing 4 spinners or 3 spinners. Probably, in all fairness, the Australians are having those same discussions among their lineup. So what they played only 2 spinners in the first test, right?
and one guy on debut, and I know that Scott Boland he's a skull figure, लेकिन बंदे ने 5 टेस्ट मैच ऑस्ट्रेलिया में ही खेले और वहां भी देखें तो all his wickets came almost at one venue, the MCG, right? So in a sense, he was also on debut. He never played here, right? So for me, it was just crazy. I'm going to put up another poll for our viewers quickly. Dosto, do you think Australia will play 3 spinners this time? Quickly, you have 25 seconds. Because also, Adi, I was seeing his stats. Mitchell Stark's average in India is very, very, very poor, right? I think, like you said, reverse swing, if the pitch is going to play slow and low, the possibility of the SG ball doing something in a certain phase, that to me would be the only reason why they would need to bring in Mitchell Stark. Agar wo 90% fit hai, I would say it's not worth it because right now,
Yeah, of course. Same
this
for the Ashes, yeah.
they need a more क्या बोलूं वो Akshar Patel type accurate spinner and someone who can bat. But our viewers are saying no. 100% viewers are saying no. They should not play 3 spinners. Probably they think that they're going to bring in these guys. Very very quickly before we wrap up, I think the Travis Head decision. Definitely in the Australian media, it seemed like most of them were shocked. Going back to what you also pointed out कि बंदे ने कुछ खास तो यहाँ पे नहीं किया है, but he is ranked number 4. He's averaging 55 in the last 15 months, and he's had a terrific impact on this team. Yes, that impact has come largely at home in Australia, but when you're doing things and Adam Gilchrist, while commentating, is talking about this guy doing Adam Gilchrist type things, मतलब बंदा कुछ तो कर रहा है, right? I was just surprised that they actually went for overall a poor record and they didn't pick it because he did take 4 for 10 with the ball. And we've seen Dean Elgar 2015 में वो 4 विकेट खा गया एक दिन पे, right? I just think they made a big mistake by drawing someone who, even if he can give you 8 to 10 overs per day, It was a big blunder because कौन खेला मैट रेनशॉ बेचारा आई फेल सो बैड फॉर मैट रेनशॉ उसको 2017 के बाद रिकॉल किया बंदे को पता नहीं ऑफ स्टंप कहां है लेग स्टंप कहां है सो आई थिंक इन हाइंडसाइट दे रियलाइज दिस वाज अ बिग ब्लंडर टू ड्रॉप हेड
Even Steve Waugh pointed out here on his Instagram, the guy
I
hardly
saw that.
gets
Yeah,
many
yeah.
interviews from him. You see Steve Waugh pointing it out to Cricket Australia on a public platform. You know, it's quite a shocker. Should have played. Yeah? I mean, I was seeing our good friend Pratik Srivastav. He also put up a tweet that Travis Head is going to be the guy to watch out for.
I replied also. खेल ही रहा बेचारा but yeah it was very shocking to me
Yeah, very shocking. Yeah? Khila, yeah, like you also pointed out, he's been there, right? He's been in the team. That air of familiarity is pretty much there. And after what Renshaw did, pretty bad.
दुख होता है
He brought memories of how I used to play at LIT. कहाँ ऑफ स्टंप पे कहाँ बॉल गई?
better अरे मॉडर्न 12 खंबा यार come on
But Travis said, yeah, get the guy a game, yeah. You never know, yeah. See, there was a period of time when Labuschagne and Smith, looked good. He might just put in there, allow the other batsmen to score some. Just don't lose wickets. He might just, do something out of the blue. And if Australia bat first, you never know. There's a chance right there.
they have to like you said they have to do something superhuman to even compete very quickly one last poll for our viewers 25 seconds on the clock should Australia recall Travis Head for me and Adi it's a no-brainer bande ko khelna chahiye because at least he's been scoring some runs which is a lot more than what Bichare Renshaw and Hanscombe combined again I mean yes I was seeing his stats 11 odd innings in the subcontinent only 150 average 21 but at least the guy was batting on these, I wouldn't say they're similar tracks, but he at least played 5 test matches in the last 10 months in Asia. To my mind, that should count far more than what he's not done in those 10 innings. Quickly, yes, 100% of our viewers agree Travis Head should be recalled. That's the last thing we'll talk about the Aussies. Let me just get rid of this Travis Head ka photo and then it'll be just Adi and I before we knock the show off. So we've talked about the pitch, we've talked about the possible combinations, permutations. We both think ये day 4 पे खत्म होगा. Viewers also हमारी बात से सहमत हैं. One very quick take, Adi, before we go. What happened with the Dharamshala Test match? I've said it openly. I've tweeted. To my mind, जितना भी मैंने देखा है, as a fan and then as a journalist, you've been both. BCI has rarely ever cared about the fans. How could they have handled that Dharamshala situation better? I'm asking you because you've been there 3-4 times as a journalist. It's a farce. They knew कि ground कभी तैयार नहीं होने वाला था. I have friends, we have common friends. They tried to get tickets, they could not get it. Shocking to my mind.
Jamie, 4 months ago, my wife went to Dharamshala for an office trip with her colleagues, and because she'd never been there, I had given her an idea what the stadium is like. Even I was not aware about how far the renovation has gone into. But she was like, it's nowhere. And 4 mahine mein kahan se? And this was like, I'm talking about like 4 months back. From there, 4 months back, obviously it was there was no chance that the Dharamshala pitch will be ready. I don't know why this happened. This situation could have been avoided altogether. There are no shortage of cricket venues in India. Yeah, every year there's a new cricket venue coming up. There's no shortage. I don't know. Maybe it was that it was the temptation to play a test match at one of the most prettiest grounds in the world. And last time again a test match was played. Maybe they wanted to bring in that factor as well. But I don't know. It was very surprising why Dharamshala was picked. And to, just in the middle of a test series to just move the, test match out. And it's a test match. It's an India-Australia test match. So many people are hyped. Fans had plans. They had tickets. I saw a lot of ranting on
There were
Twitter.
more Australians coming there because they wanted to be in the foothills of that scenic mountain range. So इनके बारे में सोचो हमारे लोग. But again, it was shocking, yes. But अगर मैं देखूं गौर से, not surprised because, like I said, the BCI has rarely ever cared about the fans coming through because turnstile money is the smallest amount of money that the BCI makes. I know that Jay Shah put out a tweet and all that stuff saying sorry, but I just think it could have been handled better. But anyways, we have now इंदौर पे इंडिया 2 मैच खेल चुकी है, बड़े मार्जिन से जीती है और अश्विन ने कुछ 18-19 विकेट वहां पे लिए, तो मे बी ही इज द हैप्पीएस्ट गाइस. हाँ भाई, इंदौर में मैं बहुत धूल चटाऊंगा इंदौर.
Cricket Australia.
वही it's I think it's looking like 4-0. Of course, stranger things have happened, but
I was
last question to
expecting 2-1, but up to 4-0.
भाई,
Yeah.
again India came back from Adelaide 2.5 years ago, but इस बार मुझे लगता नहीं है इस टीम को देख के इन कंडीशंस में इतनी अच्छी स्पिन बॉलिंग तिगड़ी के सामने ये वो कर पाएंगे
Such incidents are very rare. India's comeback, you don't see that happening. वो 10 साल में एक बार होता है शायद. Maybe 20, once in 15
20 years,
years.
yeah,
Not
yeah,
happening.
yeah. चलिए भाई, thank you for taking our time. Love the look, nice, nice rapper look like Ashu Pandey was saying. Always a pleasure talking to you, and let's catch up soon, yeah.
Definitely, Jamie, definitely. Great talking, yaar. Always a pleasure to be on this show.
Thank you to all the viewers who commented. बहुत सारे लोगों ने comment किया, बहुत ने दिल फेंका, हार्ट फेंका, कुछ पैसे फेंके, सब
Thank you.
फेंका.